It's Monday, December 2nd, 2024, and we've got a December forecast for you as things are looking to be quite interesting this month. There's always something interesting happening in the world of weather, but December looks like it's going to be more interesting than November, to say the least. What's going on right now is we are feeling the cold air in the east, and you can see that clearly here on the satellite imagery. This is that trough I've been talking about. This is allowing for cold air to sink in from the Arctic, especially around the Great Lakes and the northern plains here, and it's allowing for warmer air to kind of proceed into the southwest and western portions of the United States. But there is a plot twist coming that we will talk about right here in a second. But first, let's take a look at some of these Yolometer photos we got in over the weekend. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. A lot of you got some snow, especially up there around the Great Lakes. Here's Marie in Erie, Pennsylvania, got close to 30 yalls of snow there. Tom Rowland's big 30-incher just about got completely buried in Ohio. Now, some of these people ended up with more snow, and it's still snowing right now, so I don't know if Sarah Thompson's Yolometer is even visible anymore. This came a couple days ago, 30 inches there in the town of Northeast Pennsylvania, which happens to be in Northwest Pennsylvania. Randy's got about 16 inches there in Mentor, Ohio, another place that likely has a lot more than that right now. Jim Scott with 25 inches on November 29th, so they've got way more snow than that. A lot of these are just probably buried. That's why we've never gotten an update from these guys. And then even outside of the lake effect snow, we've had snow in other places as well, including in the St. Louis suburbs. Blaze weather here with about 3 or 4 inches. And then even in my own backyard, my son and I got to go out and play in a dusting of snow yesterday. You can see it's not very measurable, but Echo was very, very excited. More snow is on the way, especially downwind of the Great Lakes here. More so on Lake Michigan today, I think, especially on the eastern side in Michigan, maybe in northern portions of Indiana. We're going to see some thunder snow maybe with some convective bands. And then I do think that there's more snow coming for portions of New York and Pennsylvania and Ohio as well. But the biggest part of this particular lake effect snow event is over, but it's not completely over. I'll tell you more right here in a second. But first of all, we are going to deal with some flurries and some snow bands in Kentucky and Tennessee later today into tonight. We might see a quick dusting or coating of snow from Lexington down to Nashville. Some of those flurries might make it into northern Alabama, Huntsville, and that area. Snow's going to make it across the Appalachian Mountains tonight into the day tomorrow, and might actually make it to Raleigh as well as we go into the early morning hours on Tuesday. Notice how the lake effect snow bands are still going on up there, and I see no end in sight in the short-term forecast for places like Erie, Pennsylvania, maybe even Watertown over here. But the only other place to talk about in the short term is southern Texas. There's a little bit of return moisture down here that might cause a clap of thunder or two, maybe over the next couple of days. Other than that, the rest of us are experiencing the most quiet weather that I've seen on these maps in quite some time. But that is not going to last forever. Here's that big trough, the big giant weather system that's responsible for the bone-chilling cold air that we're experiencing in the north central and eastern United States. It's going to be persistent at least through the beginning of this week. There's going to be a little bit of resurgence of warm air trying to make it back into the more southern and southeastern portions of the United States, but it's going to remain quite chilly in the northeast before our next big plume of cold air comes in towards the middle of the week. Wednesday, December 4th here, we're going to see some very strong upper level winds driving down even more polar air into the north central United States, into the Great Lakes. This is going to cause more lake enhanced snow along the Appalachian Mountains and maybe a more significant snow event in the interior northeast as we go towards the latter portion of this week. And of course, this is also going to drive some cooler temperatures down into the southeast as well, similar to what we've seen over the past couple of days. But notice what's happening on the other side of this trough. Okay, we've got a big resurgence of warmer air. We've also got a little bit of a cutoff low down here, and this is going to really disrupt the pattern. This is the plot twist. This little player right here is going to change everything, as if it wasn't for this, I really do think that we would have this high amplitude trough and ridge pattern in place for a longer period of time. and we would just kind of stay cold in the east for a longer period of time. However, what's going to happen is we are going to see a slight warm up, especially in the northern plains and the more midwestern portion of the United States. Extreme northeastern, you guys are going to be cold for quite some time. But what's going to happen here is we might actually have a little storm system to track this weekend with some severe weather in the deep south as some warm air tries to, bubble its way back into the south and east. But what's going to happen after that is because that little storm disrupted the very static pattern that we had, all heck is going to break loose, likely with a parade of troughs coming through the lower 48. And that could start as early as Monday, December 9th, with a big trough coming into the Rockies here, the Intermountain West. This is going to allow for some lift out in front of it, maybe some stormy weather, some rain, some snow in the north, and some storms in the south as we go into Tuesday, December 10th. That actually looks like it could be a severe weather maker in the Midwest over towards the Ohio Valley in the deep south once again on December 11th. As I always say, when we're looking this far out into the future, we can't really trust the models, but if this were to come to fruition, this would definitely be a very stormy pattern here as we go through December. And there's another ridge, another trough. You see what I'm saying? This would likely produce several severe weather outbreaks and then also some really potent snowstorms on the backside. We can see that better if we throw some precipitation types on here. First of all, I want to mention Wednesday and Thursday. That next lake effect snow event is going to be quite potent up here, especially in southern Ontario, more so than last time. I think that you guys are going to see a lot of snow from this one. And it's not just going to be in these tiny little bands. There's some original moisture associated with this low pressure system that's also going to cause widespread moderate snow in a large area around the entire low pressure system, which might bring some decent snows to Maine, Massachusetts, all the way down into Pennsylvania once again as we get into Thursday and Friday. We're talking about mostly a higher elevation snow in the interior northeast, but even places like Boston and Augusta, I think that you guys could see some snow. It's too early to talk about totals, but I'll keep you updated. But what's going to happen after that? That resurgence of warm air once again is going to start happening here. We're going to see a return of moisture to Texas, into Arkansas, into the mid-Mississippi River Valley. This might come in the form of thunderstorms, actually. And then things are going to feel quite warm. And then that warm up is going to continue to try to propagate into the east. And then our big storm systems are going to start taking shape. There's the one on December 10th and 11th. Another one looks a little bit more promising, maybe on December 15th. This one has the potential to be a big East Coast snowstorm with a southeast severe weather situation. But there's not really a lot of science behind talking about that too much right now. These are just signals. The models will change significantly run to run. I'm just showing you as we go into the middle of December, things are going to get a little bit more unsettled. The only thing we know for sure is that the cold air that we have right now in the east is here to stay for a little while longer, and the warm air is going to continue to increase in the west. And then at some point here, probably around December 7th or 8th, that plot twist is going to throw a wrench in our pattern. All things are going to start changing, and you're going to start hearing from me a lot more than once a week here on this channel as we're going to have a lot of updates for you. But right now, it's just the calm before the storm. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. December 7th through the 11th looks to be below average in the east, above average in the west. We've seen this. We know this. We understand this. It's going to continue to be the case. Precipitation above average down here in South Texas. Everywhere else, either slightly above average, near normal, or much below average, actually, in California and portions of Utah and Nevada. But everything changes after that cutoff low comes through around December 7th, December 8th, and then I think we're going to see a lot of storms. Unfortunately, some of those storms are going to be on the severe side, but I think that we have a really good chance still before Christmas to see a major winter storm somewhere east of the Rocky Mountains, and I'm going to do my best to keep you updated on that. And here's another friendly reminder to go get yourself a Yolometer before the snow comes, okay? All these people up there around the Great Lakes, they had access to the greatest snow measurement device on Earth. But whenever it comes for Arkansas or Tennessee or Maryland or wherever you are, you're going to want one of these too, okay? Especially when we go live. Whenever we have a large area under winter storm warnings or ice storm warnings or blizzard warnings, we go live on the channel, and we love compiling storm reports with these big giant Yolometers, which are actually on sale today through Wednesday. We're doing a Cyber Monday sale, so I've been told to let you guys know about this. 20% off the Yolometer 2.0, so definitely go take advantage of that. We're going to have a lot of fun this winter with these, but it's not just the Yolometers that are on sale. We've also got apparel on sale. You know somebody who enjoys meteorology, who loves weather, and also Christmas? Hey, looky here. We've got the daggone Christmas tree tornado original design. We've got it on hoodies, t-shirts, sweatshirts, you name it. If you know a very adamant snow enthusiast, we've got the Snowtown Baby shirt as well. We've got the This Is My Snow shirt design. And if you've been here for a while, you remember the milk sandwich. We'll definitely talk about milk sandwiches more as we get deeper into winter, but we put that on a daggone shirt. There's the blip. And of course, we've got the original Supercell design and all that stuff. Basically, if you know a weather nerd, this is a great place to get a Christmas gift. Or if you're a weather nerd yourself, treat yourself. Almost everything is on sale right now in the apparel section of our website. And of course, this helps us run our operation here without having to do commercials and all that stuff. So we appreciate you for your support. On top of all that stuff, we do have 10% off the Tempest weather system. This is a backyard weather station. Get live weather data 24/7 on your phone from your backyard. It's got a lightning detector. It'll give you a notification whenever it starts raining or whenever the temperature gets below a certain point and all that fun stuff. It's very cool. And then we got weather radios, backpacks, phone cases, you name it. We've got it. All right. So yeah, Cyber Monday sale lasts through Wednesday. Please go check it out over at shopryanhall.com. And there's a link in the description. Thank you guys for giving us the best job in the world. We're going to be here for you as long as you keep coming to the videos. So thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.